So this is Preston Church. It's very pretty, and it's for the church I have spent most time in. This is where we used to do all our school stuff. Not that I'm religious. Now this is my motorcycle. It's quite new, it hasn't done many miles, and I'm going to now take it to another church, which is one of my favourites because it's in the middle of sod off nowhere and it seems really random. So here we go. As I say, I am not at all religious. I just quite like churches, really. I don't know why. I'm an avowed atheist, which I think is what I got from my father. But it's a lovely day. So I've only actually had the bike a week, and this is probably the first nice day we've actually had. This is the village. Well, a village where someone has kindly put up a fake speed camera. There's actually another one at another exit to the village. I think they're absolutely ridiculous because, quite frankly, people who, they're not signposted naturally because they're not really official, so people are going to glimpse them in their mirrors or see them at the last second and just slam their brakes on, which, quite frankly, is going to cause all sorts of accidents, which, yeah, it's not a very good idea. Although I do kind of understand it because people do absolutely speed through here. Although I must admit they have kind of ruined the village with all of this brand new building. I mean, they built sort of 60 odd homes in a village with one small shop, 2 buses a day, etc. I know there's all questions about needs for more housing in the southeast and all of that, but quite frankly, if you're going to do it all, you need to at least make sure there's some semblance of infrastructure before you actually do it, or at least that is my opinion on said matter. Now, this is my first go at any form of vlogging. Something hit me on the head. So I do apologise if, firstly, none of this actually works. I'm sure I hit record. I am sure I hit record. But whether or not I did will be a matter of record when I get off the bike and have a look. So, as you can see, it's actually called Church Lane. So, one would presume there is a church on it, which there is. So this is West Stourmouth, I think. Yes, it must be, because it is to the west of East Stourmouth. That would make complete sense, wouldn't it? And since this road doesn't go anywhere, I've always thought this one's wonderfully in the middle of nowhere, which it is completely. So this is West Stourmouth Church, and this is all new. It used to just be a big clump of trees there, but I assume someone's moved into this tomb. For a long time it was quite an abandoned church, this. It didn't have a vicar or anything, but it seems to have actually got a new lease of life recently. They do quiz nights and stuff, which I suppose is an alternative to doing them in pubs. But there you go. Maybe it's just a playhouse. I can't imagine anyone would actually live in there. But it's got bins and everything. And I presume I have literally just passed across their drive. You know, I don't think I've ever driven down here. I've driven a car for 6-7 years, and despite having lived in this area for most of my life, never actually been down this way. No, I have driven down here. I've delivered letters down here, that's a lie. An absolute pouring rain. And it was thoroughly miserable because I couldn't find half the houses I needed, so I had to get out and walk around and knock on doors to try and find out where I was meant to be. And I got absolutely soaked. And not being dressed for the weather didn't help, but there we go. Now if anyone actually watches this, they're going to see me take corners so slowly, but that's partly because literally this is my first bike. I did direct access, a really good shop, training group associated with the Honda dealership, Kent Motorcycles, over near Barham, which is near Canterbury on the A2, attached to H's Cafe. I did my training over at Manston, and I did DAS over how long did it take? 3 weeks or so. Having barely ridden before that, well, I'd never ridden in the UK before that. It'd all been on crappy little scooters and knackered bikes in India, Greece and whatnot. So yeah, I mean, I had my first go on a geared bike over Christmas. Promptly dropped it on a cattle grid, well, near a cattle grid. It was a wonderfully rubbish thing. One of the indicators was hanging off, and it was called a Honda Hero Unicorn. Yeah, but needless to say, I'd wanted to sort of get into bikes for a long time, so when I came back to the UK, I put myself onto the DAS, and yeah, I don't know, this seems to be very complicated, especially for younger people, to actually get into motorcycles. And I absolutely hated my CBT on the 125. I thought it was terrifying. Just couldn't get away, really unstable. Didn't help that it was a horrendously windy and cold day, and up at Manston it's very exposed, what with it sort of being an airport, or former airport. It's sort of on top of a hill with no cover anywhere near it. But anyway, yeah, thank you for paying attention if you've paid attention.